Welcome to the United Constitutional Patriots Radio Show with your host, Johnny. Today we'll be talking about the border and other issues within our country. We have a guest today. I will let Johnny announce the guest. So now I will now turn it over to Johnny. So here's Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United Constitutional Patriot Radio Show, where you're going to get facts, true news, border news, and things you normally don't hear because the mainstream media does not want to cover it. Right now, the Patriot Group is really upset because of a lot of stuff that's going on, and we do have a special guest who will be coming on after I let you know what's going on. But I'm right to the point. We have a governor that just openly lied to the people of New Mexico. And I got my freedom of speech, and she may not like this, but it's a fact. And we are going to prove this Saturday. She said that she was pulling the troops off the border of New Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, she's never had the troops on the border of New Mexico. We may think she might be sending a message to the southern border across into Mexico, telling these people, hey, it's a free ride, come on in. Now, here's what we do know. They did build, which I was just made aware of it, and but they do have 26 miles of fence built between El Paso and almost Santa Teresa. The National Guard was down on the border at that time, protecting the people that were building the wall. They have not been there since. She has put out fake news. I contacted Channel 13, told them and I showed them proof. The only ones that's been on that border has been the United Constitutional Patriots. Nobody else. The people down in the Boot Hill area are screaming for help. She gave a long rigmarole explanation, and the military's not there, bottom line. She openly lied to the people of New Mexico. Now, we're going to not only prove this wrong tomorrow or Saturday, our special guest will fill everybody in what's going on. By the way, our President Trump will be coming to El Paso on the 11th. He is coming to El Paso to have a, what do you call it? I can't think of the name of it.
A rally.
A big rally. And I want to get everybody there. I want people to come down to the border just for a ride and drive along the border and look and see that the information we are giving is 100% true. However, for the first time since we've had our radio show, we are going live feed. We will be starting probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. We are having our own rally down there, and we're going to have a marathon going because we're going to show the people why we need funding on the border, why we need help on the border. And you are going to see live video of the border showing that everything we're saying is 100% true. And then Channel 13 News and every radio show station is going to also get a copy of this video that we're doing, and we're also going to send it to our president. So you know that our governor in New Mexico is giving fake news to the people of New Mexico, news that could get them killed. And this is wrong. She talks a good talk, but she doesn't walk the walk, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to be down there. I'm going to be down there with them, and I will be in these videos. Our men will be in the videos. The open borders will be in the videos. You're going to get a first-hand view again. Only this time, we want your help more than ever because we have people on that border that need your help. And that's what this is partially about. We need to raise funds so we can keep those people on the border and protect America, not just the United States or the state of New Mexico, but totally protect America. This is what we are up against, folks. Now, we got CJ and Warren, great people. I want to welcome you. I'm giving a shout out also to Jeremiah Johnson, one of our men that's out west. Snowed in, he can't get here. But I also want to give a shout out to David and our other men down on the border, because they're all listening tonight. These people can put in their notes where you can see that there is no military on the border. She is openly lying to the American people. I don't know what her total agenda is, but I do know she wants to make this a sanctuary state. She wants to take the automatic weapons away from the citizens of New Mexico. A lot of things she wants to do. But you know what? We have constitutional rights. We have the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, and I'm going to push both of them really hard tonight. I told my team earlier, hey, I might end up dead after tonight with the report that I'm giving. But you know what? Grisham doesn't want to start a war with the United Constitutional Patriots, so she can't win. The bottom line is this, folks. We really need your support now. America needs your support in the worst way. Governor Lujan Grisham, we have the video here. It's up. Says Governor Lujan Grisham's decision to withdraw most New Mexico Guards troops deployed to the state border and with Mexico has drawn widespread national media coverage today. And the Democrats, Governor did, I'm not going to go into the rest of it. But this is right here in front of you. You can see it. You can Google it. She is spewing nothing but lies. And the people of New Mexico knows this. It's time to get a petition, get it signed. Let's get her out and get a governor in here that cares about America and the citizens of the state of New Mexico, as well as the citizens of the United States. This woman, I don't even know how to word it. But yes, she's got me fired up. She's got the state of New Mexico fired up. I see people saying how much they love her for being so honest. If that's honesty, ladies and gentlemen, we got a real serious problem. Now, if you want to donate and help with us on the border and help the men, please give. I don't care if it's just $1. Anything helps. We have men on the border that need your help, need your support. They are veterans and they are patriots. They're willing to lay their lives down to protect this state and the United States from people like this, because she's part of the problem. She's the one that's bringing these people in here. Think about that. Not a very good feeling. The police officers, they've already said, a bunch of them have already made the statement, when they're trying to take guns away from people. They said they will not honor any law that she gets pushed in, or the Democratic Party, which runs this state. They will not honor their laws they passed to take weapons away from the people of the state of New Mexico. Well, I strongly urge you to support all law enforcement. They're your friends, they're not your enemies. They're there for you. They have a job to do like everybody. When you see them, thank them. Do something with them. Help them. But ladies and gentlemen, in this point right now, we need help now on the border to protect you folks. And we need help to protect America. We're asking for donations. You can send donations to the United Constitutional Patriots Facebook page. All you have to do is Google it. There's a PayPal account on it. We need supplies. We need food. We need blankets. You name it, we need it for these men on the border. You can send this stuff to the United Constitutional Patriots, care of John Horton or Mark Cheney, at P.O. Box 1334, Flor Vista, New Mexico, 87415. Or If you want to be boots on the ground, and we need you down here, believe me, we need you. You can call me at 505-334-2492, and I will give you the information you need to be able to come down here. David Miller, he says, only drug traffickers, child traffickers want to open borders. Now, David is one of our men on the border. He's one of them seeing what's going on. One of them that's trying to help the best he can. He needs support as well. Mary Murray, thank you again for being here. He said, we support the boots on the ground. I know you do. You've been a strong supporter of us from day one, and I really appreciate you, Mary. I appreciate all of you listeners. If you would just donate $10 a piece, that would help. We need the help. We need the help on the border. And we do have the Saturday. We're asking people to come to the border, support us. We are having it's a human wall meeting, and our guest tonight will be the one that will fill you in on all that information. He is the organizer of it. We will be down there in total support of him in force. And we're not going down there just to do this. We're going down there to prove our governor is lying to you. Let that sink in. So with this, Anthony, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this over to you, my friend.
How you doing, guys? I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. How y'all doing out there tonight? Thank you so much for having me on here tonight. It's a pleasure. It's a real honor. I'm very thankful for all of the extremely hard work that you guys put forward and taking all of the senseless attacks that we're constantly facing from the left. And I just want to tell you guys thank you. I'm really appreciative. The event will be happening this coming Saturday. We will be meeting in Sunland Park, New Mexico, in a small parking lot of a location called Adorbino's Restaurant. It is called Adorbino's Desert Crossing. I will be out there at 10 in the morning with an American flag, so you won't miss me. We will be out there waiting for everybody to arrive till about 10:30, at which point then we will all caravan maybe about a mile away to the actual, where the fencing actually ends at the border. And we will hold hands or stand side by side for 45 minutes for our 45th president, Donald Trump, to bring attention. And that way we make it viral. Everybody's streaming, taking pictures. We have to bring awareness to this, and we also have to show our president that we do want a wall down here. No matter what the fake media narrative is, we will destroy this coming Saturday, proving a point, all of us coming together for one purpose, and that's for the sovereignty of our nation.
Okay, and while you're at it, do you want to fill them in on some of the stuff that's going on the border down there, Anthony? I'd sure appreciate it.
Sure. Currently in El Paso County alone, Annunciation House, which is basically a legal human trafficking ring down here in El Paso, is asking ICE to update their facilities so that they can be accommodating. At first, I thought it was 3,500 people a week. Come to find out, I misheard, and it's actually 3,500 families a week out of El Paso County alone. And unfortunately, no matter what the reports on the mainstream media are telling you guys, most of these individuals are men. Out of 2,000 individuals that arrived earlier today in Piedras Negras, 1,700 of them were men. You have to call this what it is. This is no longer immigration, guys. This is an invasion. The southern border is being exploited with the United Nations because Mexico signed an open migration pact. This pact entitles any immigrant coming from anywhere. It gives them the entitlement and it gives them the right to be held at a higher standard than citizens. The fact of the matter is that the United States did not sign this pact. However, the people that designed this pact and that are onto this path know that they are exploiting the laws of our country and our immigration system. Unfortunately, we have American activists traveling into Mexico to coach these individuals. I was at the Casa de Migrante in Juarez 3 days ago, and as I was out there, a really nice van from the airport arrived and dropped off 3 individuals. At first, I thought they were probably some kind of volunteers from somewhere else, but they were very, very well dressed. And my viewers were actually, I was actually streaming all of this, and my viewers took notice of what they were wearing, and they actually sent me the pricing on some of these individuals' shoes and clothing that they were wearing. I approached these individuals and asked them where they were from. They were from Cuba. So people are flying in from all over the world into Juarez, and the Casa de Migrante, which is the Diocese of Juarez, takes these individuals for a day or two, coaches them on what they're going to say, and then they bring them straight to the border. On this video, I also caught a gentleman yelling to another man across the fence. One was inside and one was outside. The man that was inside of the immigration house, the Casa Migrante, was yelling at the gentleman outside, telling him, all you need is a reference letter, and in a day or two, they take you straight into El Paso from here. So essentially, it's just a one-stop shop. They stop there for a night or two, they recuperate, they get the good feeding, and they relax for a little bit, and then they go ahead and they get dropped off over here. And at which point, then the diocese or Annunciation House over here in El Paso picks them up, and they give them bus tickets to wherever. Where I honestly don't know where they're shipping these individuals to. My theory is, I genuinely believe that these people are being pushed into areas for the electoral college for the vote. That's my speculation on where they're all being dropped off throughout the country.
Okay, now, Tony, you're down there on the border. You're watching these people come across. What are you seeing on the disease, the sick, the lame?
Okay, as far as that is concerned, a couple of days ago, I was at the hospital down here, Thomason Hospital, which is the children's hospital in El Paso, and there was at least 24 kids, illegal children, at the hospital, and one of the head securities there was telling me that it's always packed with kids, and sometimes, and for the most part, they're racking up bills starting from $30,000, and he's seen them go up to $60,000 per individual that goes in there. Keep in mind that Border Patrol is taking no chances at all with any of these individuals. So the minute that one of these people says, my head hurts, I'm coughing, I got a boo-boo here, they take them straight to the hospital, and they all get put on your tax dollars. It's so bad down here that they are actually taking the immigrants before the citizens down here. And I actually have a woman that's been still calling me, wanting to come on my live stream to give her testimony what happened to her on Christmas Eve. She's still really very well upset about that. They pushed her off to the side while she had an emergency because the emergency room was full of illegals on that day. So she was really upset.
And this is going on all the time down there, is what you're saying, right, Tony?
This is on a daily basis. I know McAllen, Texas is apprehending, and just illegals alone. This does not include the individuals that are trying to come into the legal ports eventually. McAllen alone is apprehending an average of 1,000 individuals trying to cross illegally, which essentially most of these get re-released into our community with the catch and release that is still happening right now. There was supposed to have been what's called the MPP, which is the Migrant Protection Program, if I'm not mistaken, which was when they turned themselves over to Border Patrol, they checked them out, and then they gave him a little ticket, told him, okay, here's your ticket, you got to go wait in Mexico. I don't know why it's not being implemented. They're still doing catch and release, unfortunately.
Okay. Now, on the Mexico side, I want to ask you, have you seen any military whatsoever? You're down there all the time.
All I've seen recently, a couple of days ago, was mass movement of military equipment. Several people, even within Fort Bliss, messaged me and told me that there was a lot of equipment being moved around. Now, I don't know exactly where the equipment was going. I saw myself a long train coming in to El Paso, and it appeared to be going into Fort Bliss. And this heavy machinery looked like it was some kind of machinery for building or moving big materials, it seemed like. It didn't look like any kind of war weaponry or anything.
Okay. Now, but you haven't seen any military in New Mexico at all, have you?
Not at all. Not at all.
And how often are you down there?
I've been going out there consistently, trying to stay in contact with some individuals that help me out consistently when there's things going on out there, and I'm out there at least once or twice a week in those particular areas, and I don't see any kind of military movement whatsoever.
Okay. Now, I did have a team go down to the border about a month ago, and to take videos of that so-called fence, and that goes all the way from Santa Teresa all the way to Arizona, and there's no fences, or I should say there's no walls. These fences, you can literally walk over them. David, I'm going to say so real quick. David Miller says, today the sheriff was set up out here watching a stakeout house by where I'm at for illegal aliens. Shows the governor's full of, you know what. I can't say that, David, but thank you. Now, see, this is what's going on the border down here. And when Anthony contacted me, I was really happy because I know who he is. He's a very good person for information. He's like most of your people that give the news out, to give the true news. He's not liked. That's why I haven't said his last name, but probably most of you know who he is. He's very well known. I don't like putting last names out on anybody because of the left and the people who try to find out information from us. Well, any information we give out's for the public. But we have trolls like everybody that have their comments. And I will say this, any trolls that come in and post on our radio show, you will be blocked immediately. Excuse me. You will be blocked immediately. We don't put up with that crap. We are an honest organization. We are licensed in the state of New Mexico, and we're also registered with the federal government. We are a humanitarian group. When we're not on the border, and a lot of my listeners know this, when we're not on the border, when there's a hurricane, tornado, whatever, we're the first boots on the ground, or try to be, to make sure that people have first aid, supplies, whatever. Now we've had some boats that have been donated to us where we can actually do water rescue and help out even more. So what we're looking at is this. We're down on the border to protect the United States of America, the civilians, the citizens. We're not just there to protect just New Mexico. If these people come through and they break through and they get into our country, we are going to have the same problems that Mexico's having, where they're raping the children, killing parents, walking in, shooting them, stealing kids, putting them on the market. And a lot of it is this that we were talking about on our last show, where they're taking these kids for harvesting. They're worth more dead than alive. This is what we're trying to stop. And we have to do this as citizens as well as patriots. Today, the sheriff in El Paso today stated there are no problems there. Looking for the article, they're trying to cover it all up. Okay, that was a message from Shewa. As far as that goes, how much truth is that to what the sheriff is saying, Tony? Anthony?
The world has stopped lots of crime here in El Paso. Aside from, look, the left is always going to fight back, and the more they repeat, the more and more people believe their lies, unfortunately. And they're fighting back with all they got. They will resist this wall. Why? Because, I don't like this. Do you think it's the moment that all these illegals, if we were to just legalize, all these people are trying to come over, but we're not allowed to vote, do you think the Democrats would be fighting this hard to keep our borders open? I don't think so. I know for a fact they will not be going out of their way to help these individuals get over here. They are buying time, not giving us any border security so that they can import all of these votes. Keep in mind, there has been voter fraud in Texas last election. It's a fact. We only won our senatorial race with Ted Cruz by 200,000. At the rate that these individuals are coming in at up to 80,000 a day through our southern border, there is no way in hell that we can sustain or stay above water with all these individuals coming in with a sole purpose to vote for a particular party. There is no way.
Well, you know, this should be an eye-opener for not just here, but Texas. Now, we have listeners that are from all over the United States. And they support us. They listen to us. I get phone calls. I get notifications from people saying, "Hey, we go to this because this is the first place that we found that gives the true news." And that's what we're here for, folks. We're not here to pump you full of a bunch of crap. We're here to give you the news, even though it's vetted news. It's news no one will cover, and the reason we do it is so you will know the truth. I'm going to ask everybody to share this program, too. There's a share button there. Share it and share it and share it. Get the word out to what's going on. Get the word out what's going on Saturday to be down at the border. We need people down there. We're going to do a human wall in honor of our 45th president, but also to open up the eyes of what's going on in America. The lying politicians, the fake news, everybody covering up. Just like there's a bunch of these radio shows out there saying there's nothing going on the border, they're being set up to be sent down here. And because of this, we had men turn around and go back to Texas because of this fake news. And we need boots on the ground. We need the help. We need you folks. You're patriots, or you wouldn't be listening to us. So I'm going to ask you again, please donate. I don't care if it's just $10, $1, but anything helps to take care of the men that are on the border. I'm not the one that's on the border all the time. I'm in headquarters. I'm up in Farmington, New Mexico area, and this is where we dispatch everybody from after we vet them, make sure they've got training. Now, yes, we are armed. We are there to defend ourselves if we are attacked. But our main job on the border is to locate, report, and hold them until the proper authorities can get there to get them. Now, if we catch child traffickers hurting children or something, I can't guarantee what's going to happen on that because we're human. They have rape trees down there that they have. They've got women's panties that they hang in them, showing how many have been raped at that tree. This is what's coming here. If they're raping them, bringing them up here, what's they going to do when they get here? They're going to be raping them here too. That could be your kids. It could be your grandkids. It could be your wife, your daughter, your sister. You know, this is fact. But with that, I'm going to go to Nuclear Warrior. You got anything you want to say, Nuclear Warrior?
Well, All I can say is we've got an open mic somewhere and it's distorting the audio stream.
Is that better?
Yeah, that helps. About the only thing I have here that's recent is the Inspector General's report for the DOD came out, and there's a something about a missing or unaccountable $21 trillion that seems to be hard to find. Now, keep in mind that back in 2001 on September 10th, the report came out that the military could not account for $21 trillion. And the very next day was the big false flag event called 9/11. And that kind of took everybody's attention away from the missing $21 trillion. So I'm wondering if this IG report that just came out might be something to do with that. I'll have to vet that to be sure. But it kind of looks like numbers-wise, they match up pretty closely. And that's all I've got for the show right now, Commander. I'll give it back to you.
Okay, Phantom, you got anything you want to say?
Yes, I would, Johnny. There's some kind of interesting things happening out right there right now. A lot of the Google channels are coming down. People they consider conspiracy theorists is what they're saying, which includes people who write about Jesus and prophecies and the world news and all kinds of people, patriots. So apparently YouTube's gone to war with truthers. We also see Twitter doing the same thing today. We've got the Daily Caller, of all people, taken down off Twitter. We still have this crazy story on Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They're trying to keep her alive. WAPO puts out this story that she's on at a play and then shows us the picture of two backs of two people. We can't see faces or anything. No one saw her at this play. And then Fox comes along and they try and pick up on the story, and they also keep the false narrative going. And in American Watersheds, back in the book series, AmericanWatersheds.com, in 15 and 16, I detail this civil war going on at Fox. And as we know, a lot of the shares were held by Prince Alwaleed, which was the sort of like the bad prince. He was involved in all the Clinton things, whether it was weapons, child trafficking, all these different things. And the new prince, he jailed him and took most of his money away. He was worth $26 billion, by the way. So we still have this internal war going on at Fox. And of course, back when I wrote the book, I wanted to call. I love Bill O'Reilly, so I decided I wanted to debate him on penal reform. And of course, he's not there anymore. So, and of course, President Trump did pass penal reform. So I guess that's a non-issue right now. There's also a new findings that came out that FISA has been abusing the system all the way back to 2001, even before Robert Mueller's tenure there. It seems that they've been basically misusing the FISA court for a very, very long time. So there's a congressional investigation into that right now. I thought it was very exciting that President Trump, of course, had the greatest speech in history at the State of the Union, and the Patriots were so excited. There's never been such a great speech in all American history, as far as I'm concerned. And I thought it was also particularly interesting that he talked about, that he can end AIDS in 10 years, and I thought that was very interesting. I had a friend actually that worked at the CDC, and her job was to make plagues and diseases and stuff like that. And she actually was one of the key funders in the movie MC5, A True Testimonial, which I also talk about. Now, that movie was made. It was very sad. It took 7 years to make it. Very professional. Won all the, top 20, every single film festival. Got a major distribution deal. And then the whole warehouse full of DVDs. And the guitar player decided to sue for he wanted all the money in the end. And so, it basically, I don't think you can get the movie at the moment, but she was one of the funders of that. And she gave me some pretty interesting things about these diseases that the government comes up with, and plagues and she said she's got stuff in her refrigerator that, you know, that'll scare you, you know. So this is very interesting. I think that President Trump thinks he can end AIDS in 10 years. Oh, let's see what else. Those are some of the big stories, but I was very shocked to see all the YouTubers being taken down, especially people that are just Christian ministers, for heaven's sakes. I guess there's a war on Christianity in the country right now, but anything they consider a conspiracy theory, and I guess we Christians, we're conspiracy theorists now. So I guess that's just a quick rundown of some of the things in the news, Johnny.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, Commander, if you could, give the location for the rally at the border, please. Can you give the location again, Anthony?
Absolutely. So we will be meeting at the parking lot at Aldo Vino's restaurant, which is Aldo Vino's Desert Crossing in Sullen Park, New Mexico. If you guys need any more information, feel free to go on Facebook and look up Conservative Anthony. Look up Conservative Anthony on Facebook, and all of the information will be provided for you guys right on there. We will be meeting at the Agovinos Desert Crossing at 10 in the morning on Saturday. We hope to see all of you guys out there. Make some creative signs, bring out your flags, everybody wear all your MAGA gear, and a white t-shirt if possible. We hope to see all of you guys out there. Thank you so much for allowing me a couple of minutes of your time, guys, and God bless you guys, and keep on fighting a good fight.
Well, I'll tell you what, I appreciate you, Anthony, and anytime you want to come on, anytime you need to have information or we can give us information, don't hesitate to call me. You know that I'm here for you at any time.
Absolutely, buddy. We'll be in touch, and I'll talk to you here, if not after the show, sometime tomorrow, so we can coordinate. Thank you so much. Have a blessed night. God bless you guys, and God bless America.
And God bless you too, sir. Talk to you later. Okay. The El Piado County Sheriff's Jail is full of illegal aliens committing crimes over here. More message from David. Now, David is there, boots on the ground. He sees what's happening. David, if you want, you can call in and you can give him an update on Kevin, who was killed. We are still trying to get information on him. He's one of our men that was killed on the border. This is an American, folks. He's down there. He was down there working with David, helping David. We aren't sure the whole of everything on it yet. We're still trying to get all the information. So I'm trying every way I can because I want to get to the bottom of it. I've been asking for donations also to where we can help with this man's grave. He is a veteran. He's a former Marine. And I'm asking for help to help his family. If you want to make a donation, just state right in it. If you make a donation in our PayPal, state what the donation is for, and that's where that money will go to. And at any time, people can go through our records and through our paperwork and through where every dime that we have, that we get, where it goes to the men. It goes to help the people on the border. It goes for supplies, things the men need. Now, I've got some great people out there that are on here tonight with us also, the friends I've talked to on my Facebook. And I try to keep them up on everything that's going on. You know, we have a hard job. People don't realize how hard it is. My team works from the time they get up. Well, just an example, Chuck, he's our minister, but he's also the head of Intel. He probably comes on at 7 o'clock in the morning. And he's there till 11:30, 12 o'clock my time, which is a 2 hours difference. It was about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning there. Every one of us, every member of this team works their butt off to get you the information, to get you true news. So you know what you're getting, you can count on. It's vetted. A lot of our information comes out of Washington, D.C. We get information that no one else gets. We get information from Mexico with our other teams that are in Mexico. This is where our information comes from. So you get true information, true news. And that's what keeps this going, is because of the fact that we will not lie to you. We won't make anything sound pretty. We don't mean to make anything sound gross. But that's what this is about. It's about getting the news to you folks so you can hear the truth that is being blocked from the mainstream media. With that, anybody else have anything they want to say? Okay, Nuclear Warrior, go ahead, and then I'll bring in Preacher. Go ahead, Nuclear Warrior.
Okay, thanks, Commander. Folks, this is the eternal battle of good and evil, and right now evil is winning, and we'd like to turn that around. Well, let me rephrase that. They think they're winning, but we have a plan, and it's being worked behind the scenes, which is why you're not seeing it on mainstream media, which is why by the time we get it, it may have happened a day or two ahead of time. But it is happening. We are gaining ground. Things are happening behind the scenes that we can't talk about, mainly because we don't know all the details. We don't want to give you false flag information. But as citizens, you should be extremely pissed off with the YouTube channels being taken offline. That is censorship, and it's not allowed under the Constitution. Now, you can complain to the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, whose information can be found online. I suggest you do that. Flood him with all of the letters you want and bring his attention to this censorship issue and see if we can't get some of this stuff restored. It's up to you, folks. It's your country. If you want to get these channels back on the internet, you're going to have to put up the fight, because they're already down. And in order to get them back, you're going to have to dig in, get nasty, and just start flooding the people who can make the difference with all kinds of emails. And you've got my back on that, because I intend to do some of the same. Commander, back over to you.
Thank you, Nuclear Warrior. Okay, Preacher, go ahead. I'll get to you in a minute, Phantom.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I thought I'd take a few minutes here. We've covered a lot of subjects here tonight. We've covered a lot of ground. A lot of things that needed to be covered, and we'll probably cover some more before we're done here. Because, as the commander said, we are pretty thorough around here. However, there's one subject that we had not touched on yet that I thought I'd touch on for just a little bit, because some interesting things did occur at that point in time. And I speak of the State of the Union address last night. We were, most all of us, we were here at the War Room last night, and some of us kind of stepped off long enough to watch the State of the Union address on television. Others of us watched YouTube live streams sitting right here. I was one of those. And that had to be, and I'm sure many of you will agree, but that had to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, State of the Union addresses that I've ever heard from any president of the United States in my lifetime. And when I was born, General Dwight David Eisenhower was president of the United States. So I've been through a few presidents in my day and time. Anyway, some interesting stuff happened there last night. Now, as you were watching, guys, yoo-hoo, I'm on the air, folks. Okay, sorry about that, folks. As you probably noticed, if you were watching the speech last night, watching the president, right behind him over his left shoulder was Miss Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. And you probably noticed a couple of different times there that she reached down there on her desk and picked up some papers and began to shuffle through them and sitting there reading and what have you. Well, it's interesting, but it came out this morning that what was going on there was that the president apparently pulled another, shall we say, act of genius. And this man is a genius. He has an IQ, from what I understand, is in the top 3 in the world, top 3% in the world. But he pulled another act of genius in that what normally happens is that the president, out of tradition, will send a copy of his speech over to the speaker's office so that she can read the speech and members of the House can read, of the opposing party in the House can read the speech so that they can rebut. Well, it turns out that this time, President Trump, honey, the speech that President Trump sent to her to peruse was not the speech that he gave last night. So he's standing there at the podium giving a completely different speech than the one that he sent to Nancy Pelosi. So she's kind of scratching her head saying, wait a minute, and rooting around in the copy of the speech that she got saying, wait a minute, this isn't the same speech. She wasn't ready for it. So she was kind of blindsided, you might say. Also, if you will recall, if you recall back just a little bit ago when we had H.W.'s funeral, George H.W. Bush's funeral, we saw some interesting things happening there. That several of the big-time deep staters received envelopes. George W. Bush and his family received a message, and we saw all that going on. Well, an interesting thing occurred at the State of the Union address last night, and I don't know if anybody caught it or not. But now, okay, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Everybody knows who she is. Democrat, okay, in the House of Representatives. There is a video clip. I've seen it on YouTube. I've got it posted here at the radio room, and I think I posted it in the war room as well. There's a video clip of her. She was standing up, at least at that time, applauding something that the president had said. And as she went to sit back down, the guy sitting next to her had a iPad or a tablet or something. And she sat back down, leaned back in her chair, and he held that up in front of her. And she saw what was on that pad. And you should have seen the look on her face. She got the same kind of look on her face as some of them at H.W.'s funeral got. So obviously something interesting was going on there last night. You probably one of my favorite points of that speech was when the president spoke about socialism, and he said, we're hearing many troubling messages from people who want to make the United States a socialist country. And he said, this country was born in freedom, and he said, we will remain free. The United States of America will never be a socialist country. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if I've ever had a prouder moment in my life than I was of that man for saying that. And folks, if you didn't watch the speech, if you could have seen the look on Bernie, the full-blown communist Sanders' face, it was absolutely precious. Back to you, Commander.
Thank you. Okay. I'm going to, Phantom, go ahead and come on in. We have a couple other people need to speak yet, so go ahead.
Yeah, I want the younger people out there that, I was younger myself, and I learned from a lot of the people, that were older than me. In my books, I just write about my own personal stories or my close personal friends that had a story, or people in my family. And it works because I'm related to 3 presidents and some of the greatest, American patriots. My grandfather started cable TV and a lot of the things we use today, like Google and, voice to text, text voice, led the union strikes, all that stuff. But the thing about it is, what really hurts me personally is when I see them censoring the written word, like what Twitter just did to Daily Caller, or the freedom of speech. It really hits me hard. Okay, my friends, I mentioned the MC5 movie earlier, and hopefully you'll go learn your history of them, because they got beat up and taken to jail at after every concert for saying one word that they didn't approve of. There's another chapter on Country Joe McDonald, who defied the masters at Woodstock. Now, a lot of people think Woodstock was all love and flowers and freedom. Well, let me tell you, Abby Hoffman, for one, might have a different opinion, because remember, he tried to talk about freeing my friend John Sinclair, who writes my liner notes and is also in my books, got bashed over the head with a guitar. And I'm not allowed to tell the true story of Woodstock yet, because there's some really interesting twists to the story involving John Lennon and different things that I'm not really allowed to tell that story yet. But I hope one day that I will be able to tell the story of Woodstock. But it was a heavily censored situation where you were not allowed to talk about politics. So even people that think Woodstock was free, it wasn't free. And, Country Joe said one word at Woodstock, and he was never allowed to have another, record contract. Now, he sold a lot of independent records. He was one of the most touring artists in history. Him and B.B. King, I think, and probably some of the 2 road warriors of all time, Bob Dylan. But, it really hurts me really personally, because these people were my friends, and I talk about Allen Ginsberg, who fought for the right to, in the court rulings that led to your freedom to write what you want, and be able to express your opinions. And so, it's sad that people don't know their history. Go to AmericanWatersheds.com, learn your history, learn about these people. They're fun. They have fun music. But they paid a price in blood for your freedom of speech and, your freedom for the written word. And to just let these people give it back is just a terrible, terrible thing. And that's just all I want to say, Johnny.
Okay. Well, let's get to Pete's Corner tonight. You have anything to say tonight, Pete? That's okay. So you want to go ahead, Nuclear Warrior?
Okay, Commander. I got a piece of information here that was just given to me. Asked if I'd cover it quick, and I will. It's about the wall at El Paso, and kind of a history about it. And the person who built this particular piece, it starts out, I rarely publicly post politically, but I need to set the record straight. So the president talked about El Paso being one of the most dangerous cities before the wall was built. Then after it was built, it became one of the safest. Liberal media was quick to dispel this during their fact check and pointed out that the wall was officially completed in 2008 and that crime had dramatically dropped before then. Well, although the wall was officially completed in 2008, the precursor to the wall started in 1993 with Operation Hold the Line, started by then Border Patrol Chief Sylvester Reyes. Hold the Line was in essence a wall as he parked Border Patrol agents along the border in El Paso a few yards apart. In essence, a human wall. This allowed the infrastructure of the wall to begin being built. So if you really want to fact check, go back and check the crime rates in El Paso before 1993, and you will clearly see that El Paso was amongst the highest in vehicle thefts, burglaries, etc. But you don't have to even look up the stats or take my word for it. Just ask the old residents along Border Highway, and they'll tell you how much their lives have changed once Hold the Line started. Also, I was patrolling the border just east of El Paso before a wall was erected there. We were always leading all stations in the Border Patrol in narcotic seizures. There were shootings, vehicle chases, you name it. The wall was erected there, and now this station sees very little narcotic smuggling attempts. Ask any Border Patrol agent, and they'll agree. I can also see why the sheriff would publicly disagree. It's a political position.
Thank you. Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
That's it for me, Commander.
Okay, go ahead, Phantom.
Oh, I'm still mad. I'm going to say a couple more things. I also would like to talk about Lenny Bruce, who they claimed committed suicide, and it was a great source of pride with people I knew at the FBI who got to his dealer and gave him a hot shot and killed him to limit his freedom of speech. And I'd also like to mention Marvin Gaye, who took a chance, it's actually the only, I read about the Funk Brothers, and I tell the funny stories. They made 81 number one hits, more than anybody, actually more than Elvis and the Beatles and the Beach Boys combined. But, Marvin Gaye took a chance. He said he wanted to make an album called What's Going On that had a political twist to it. He was tired of war. And even Barry Gordy told him, if you do that, your career's over and everything. But, he not only took that chance, he was the first person to actually list the Funk Brothers as the band on the record. So that's just three more pieces of history. It was still bothering me, Johnny. Thanks.
No problem. Okay, anybody else have anything they want to say tonight? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of our listeners for being here tonight. Like I said, we're going to be live down in New Mexico with this human wall that we're trying to get everybody down on. She-Wolf, do you have the actual address? Who has the information on that where we can share it one more time? If you can type it in there. Okay.
It was shared. There it is.
Okay, it's 1 ARDOVINOS Drive, Sunland Park, New Mexico, 88063.
At 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m., yes. Come early. Maybe we'll have a huge, huge crowd. People need to get together. We need to unite on this. This is about not just America. It's not just about honoring our president. It's proving to the people that our governor has lied to the people of New Mexico. We want you to see with your own eyes. It's a kind of a pretty drive. Drive Highway 9 all the way out to Arizona. You'll see. You will. In that whole area, you might pass maybe five law enforcement. You might pass 20 cars in that period. 5 out of the 20 are illegals with illegals that have snuck across the border. This is what we're there for, is to try to stop them. This is why we need your help. Again, I'm going to ask again if you would please donate. I know it sounds like a broken record, but we have no other way to get funds to help these men on the border. If you have a kid on that border, you want to make sure that kid to be taken care of. Make sure he has food, clothing, warmth, and safety. And that's what we're doing. Okay, Mr. Mark Hill. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? He's one of our men. He had surgery on his knee, and I know he's been beating himself up trying to get out here to help us out. Also, we have Bill still in Elk City, New Mexico. The gentleman that was going to come got some fake news, from what I understand, and he decided he's not going to come. And he was supposed to give Al a ride. Now, we do have one of our men that's a truck driver supposed to be coming through there. I'll be contacting him tonight. Hopefully, he will pick him up, and I will meet them at the closest point for me to where we can pick up Bill and bring him in. But if anybody's coming around Elk City, Oklahoma, please call me if you're coming up Interstate 40 this direction so I can give you his number and you can pick him up and bring him along. Now, he has a lot of supplies he's trying to bring, a pickup full, that he has for the men on the border. This man is a true patriot. He's walking the floors, going nuts, trying to figure out how to get here. And he was a little depressed the other night because people just don't seem to care. And it makes me very angry. Now we have, we have our buddy Matt out in Matt out in Oregon, or Matthew. We've got Mark out there. We've got Jeremiah Johnson. You know, these are true patriots, folks. These are people that are part of us, but they're having trouble getting here. So, you know, this is what we're up against. So, you know, if we can get enough donations, we can help them get here. But right now, we only have enough donations to help the people that are actually on the border. I won't send money to somebody unless I know for a fact they're coming. And this is something that I know these guys will be here if we can get the funds. So if you can donate, please donate to the United Constitutional Patriots Facebook page. Google it. I've got PayPal there. If you don't want to use PayPal, you can send cashier's checks. And we ask for cashier's check because when we do get personal checks from people, and they're good. There's never a problem with them, but the bank holds them for a week because they're from out of state. Read what Mary wrote. Mary, where are you at? Commander, will there be a sign announcing United Constitutional Patriots rally? I really don't know. Anthony's the one handling that. But we'll be there. You'll see our patches. You'll see our men and women, because we will be in full combat gear, because we have a mission to do while we're down there. But this is something that I can't really answer that question, but I can ask Tony if he can do that for us, or Anthony. But anyway, if you can, if you don't trust PayPal, which the money goes straight into the account, we've never had a problem with them. You can send any donations, any supplies, anything you want, dry good foods. One thing that is really good down there for the men is jerky, because they're living in tents. They're not in motels. They're not eating in restaurants. So if you can get these folks help that they need down there, they're down there to protect our country. You can send anything if you're camping. That's what they need, camp gear, because that's what they're doing. They're camping. Toilet paper, toiletries, socks, gloves, because nighttime does get cold. Blankets, anything that you figure you would need yourself, it would help. But you can send that to the United Constitutional Patriots, care of John Horton or Mark Cheney, at P.O. Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415. If you want to be boots on the ground, if you have any questions, you want to help in any way, please call me. Don't hesitate. 505-334-2492. Support these men and women down on the border. Help us do what we need to do. Let's see. My phone just rang, but it hung up. So if anything you can do, I would really appreciate it. Go ahead, Nuclear Warrior.
Thanks, Commander. I was just going to pick up the slack there if you had to answer the phone, but as long as I have the button pushed. Folks, these people are coming up on the border as an invasion force. That does not mean that they're going to jump the border first. They may wait for some false flag event to happen on the interior, because they have people that have slipped through the cracks and infiltrated the country, and they're waiting for their opportunity. So I would implore you to be prepared for a false flag event in the interior, or maybe wait for the border crossing and then the folks out of the interior decide to join in and flank from behind. It could happen in your town, your state, your city, your county. But keep your head on a swivel. Look around. If things don't look right, do not hesitate to report it to the local law enforcement officials. If they blow you off, go to the next one above them. You keep going until you get somebody's attention that decides that it's time to do something about it. Protect your family, protect your property. When it comes down to it, you have the right to defend your own life and your family. Now, if you don't like weapons, that's your prerogative. But I would encourage you to have weapons to being able to protect yourselves. Some folks think that they don't need them because when the things start to go bad, that law enforcement is going to be there to protect them. Well, folks, I'm here to tell you that's a fallacy in the whole statement. When stuff like that happens on the interior, the police and the sheriffs are going to be overwhelmed dealing with the problem. So it would be in your best interest to be able to protect yourselves. I don't think there's anything more I can say about that, except it's your country, it's your city, it's your state, your county, and your family. Do what you think is right for them. Commander?
Thank you. I appreciate it. One of the things Mary Murray said, and yes, this is one of the things we're also trying to protect you from. You got coming, you got MS-13, you got diseases, you got criminals, you got guns, you got child trafficking, you got drugs. This is what has to be stopped. If we can't stop this, it's going to spread like a locust. So, please, folks, support us. Come down to the border at Sunland Park. Back us up. See what's going on. Now, Friday's show, we will not have a Friday show because we are going to do live feed from the border all day Saturday. So you folks can see what we're doing. You can be a part of it. Even though you won't be there, you'll be able to watch it. Marco says, I've been paying close attention around here, even been asking my parents who are in Arizona. Thank you, Mark. Now, one of the things that, is vital that people just don't seem to understand. Everybody seems to think, well, this can't happen to me. And that's usually when it does happen. I don't wish bad on anybody in the world. God knows that I pray for our country. I pray for our president. I pray for our people. And I pray for donations so we can do our job and do it right. It's really strange. I see on internet where some good-looking gal will have a GoFundMe. I want to get this or I want to get that. And man, she gets hit with everything she wants. Sorry, folks, I'm not a good-looking lady. But this is our country. $10. People smoke cigarettes. They drink booze. They smoke dope. If they can afford that, can't they afford something to help on a cause where it could mean your freedom and the lives of others? I'm not being a smart ass about it. I'm being realistic. Think about it. Because it is worth thinking about. Now with that, I'm going to ask Chuck to do our closing prayer, and I will do the closing of the show.
All right, sure, I'll be glad to do that. Lord Jesus, we come before you right now to thank you, Lord, for this another opportunity that we've had to come here this evening and do this great work that you've given us. And we thank you, Lord, for choosing us to do the work. I think most of us on this staff right here, on this team right here, are happy to do what we do, and we're proud of the work that we do here each and every day and what we've accomplished. And we pray, Lord, that what we do here is always in a manner pleasing unto you and in accordance with your will. We thank you, Lord, for all of our great listeners who tune in each and every evening when we're on the air to listen to the true news that we have to give to them. We appreciate their being here. We appreciate everything that they try to do to support us and to help us do what we do. And we thank you, Lord, for each and every member of this staff who take time out of their day each and every day. Some of us are still working. Some of us, like myself, are physically disabled and can't go to a job, but some of us are still working. But they take time out of their day to come here and do the kind of work that we do here on behalf of our country, our Constitution, our freedom, and, of course, our wonderful president. We ask you, Lord, to bless each and every member of this staff right here. Bless them with good health. Bless them with whatever they might need to be able to continue to do this work that we do here. For we all know that it's so important. And we wouldn't be here if we didn't believe that. And Lord Jesus, we thank you for our great president, for his family, and for all those who are working together with him to the betterment of our country and to the defeat of the deep state. We ask you, Lord, to continue to let your blood of protection be upon them, upon us as a protective cover. We ask you to let your angels be encamped around about them, stand and watch over them. We ask you to continue to thwart the plans, the schemes, and the works of the wicked one against them and against us, and continue to remove the corrupt and the wicked from our government, that your agenda might continue to go through. We ask you also, Lord, a special blessing upon those who are standing watch on that border tonight, those who are down there right now, keeping their eyes on the border and reporting back to us. And I speak of United Constitutional Patriots. We ask you, Lord, to bless each and every one of them. Keep your hand upon them. Keep them safe. Let your blood of protection be upon them, and let your angels be encamped around about each and every one of them. We ask you, Lord, right now to continue with us throughout the remainder of this night and into the coming days. Continue to guide us, guard us, and direct us, and draw us ever closer to one another and ever closer to thee. And we ask all these things in the most powerful name in the universe, the wonderful name of Jesus. Amen and amen.
Amen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do me a favor. Think really seriously about this. We've had a lot of listeners tonight, and I'm asking each and every one of you to please make a small donation, even if it's a dollar, and I'm serious. Also, I want you to think about something we haven't hit on, and I want to cover this in one of our shows. I have seen so many videos of people abusing animals, dogs, cats, horses. You know, I've got 2 little dogs, and to me, they're like my kids. My kids are grown and gone. My grandkids, I got great-grandkids and great-great-grandkids. However, these animals, they're like a little kid. They depend on you to love them and take care of them. And you see someone abuse an animal, to me, that's the same as abusing a child. I got a friend named Dolly, and she is very avid with the fundraiser stuff, helping to get people to realize what's going on and finding homes for animals and shelters that are on the death list. Folks, if you don't have an animal, and if you want an animal, and if you want to get a little animal, save an animal's life, go to the shelter, let a dog pick you out. It'll come to you, bond with that, and take him home and give him a home. It doesn't take much to show love. And that's not just to an animal, but to each other. I've had people, I have men that I have worked with for years, and I love them like a brother. And I tell them, you know what, brother, I love you. And I do. I love them like a brother. Or I'll tell one of the women that have been friends, I love them, and I love them like a sister. There's nothing I wouldn't do for them the same way as I wouldn't do for an animal. But however, when you think about it, look around you. Too many times people don't say I love you enough. A man walks out the door and he tells his wife, hey, give me a kiss before I go. And she said, well, I'll give you 2 kisses when I get back. Something happens while he's gone, he gets in a car accident, gets killed or something. Think about that. Think about what you can do for each other as neighbors. Stand together, walk together, and fight together if necessary, but not against each other. Be there for each other. All people are people. We all look the same. We're not black, we're not white, we're not Indian, we're not Chinese, we're Americans. Color of your skin has nothing to do with it. We are one through the eyes of God. And that's what you got to remember. I want to thank all the law enforcement and also all the law enforcement I know that listens to us every show. I want to thank all the first responders, what they do, the military, the patriots, not just the United Constitutional Patriots, but the patriots nationwide that are on the borders fighting for you. Come in. So what I'm looking at, folks, is the reality of standing together, united as Americans. Stand with our president, pray with our president, and pray for our president, because he is praying and fighting for you. Listen, folks, this is America. We're in trouble. And God can help all, no matter what. He's got the answers. He gives you the power. The power of prayer is strong. It's hard to understand sometimes when things go wrong. They say, well, where's God when this happened? But you know what? He was there, and there's a reason why things happen. There's a reason why he made it possible for you folks to listen to our show. There's a reason why he made it possible for us to be here. And with that thought, think about the love you have for each other and your families. Thank you for Mr. President. I know that you'll probably hear the show later, but we want to thank you for being there for all of us and fighting the uphill battle you've been fighting since day one. Because God knows it hasn't been easy for you, but you've been anointed by God as far as I'm concerned. And with that, we will be back again Saturday this time. Remember, not Friday. It will be start 10 in the morning, and we will be doing live streaming. Don't know how long it's going to go. We're going to go as long as we can. We're going to be interviewing people on the border. We're going to let the people know what's really going on down there. Let them tell you. Maybe that'll make a difference. And maybe it can help us get some more donations to help these people that have to be on the border to protect the civilians down there because they need it. With that, I want to say good night. God bless all of you. God bless America, and God bless our president. And watch our flag. We'll never let it drop. It'll always be free. No glory will always fly in honor of the United States of America. This country was made on God, guns, and guts, and that's what's going to keep it free. Good night. Have a great evening. Talk to you next time.
I want to thank everybody for joining us for the United Constitutional Patriots Radio show tonight. Our show will not be on Friday because we will be on the border on Saturday, live streaming. So do not forget, it will be 10 o'clock New Mexico time when we start streaming. Please tune in, and if you want, go ahead and go down there and help them out on the border. You know, whatever you can do. I mean, take snacks, food, you know, for the people that are going to be down there. I mean, it's going to be a great thing to do to represent the United States of America. So I will let you Patriots go tonight, and God bless everybody.